like where we're going. Alright, let's go. Sucio.Talk. So I'm here with Chef Fermin Nunez of Suerte in Austin, Texas. Chef, what's up?
What is up?
Welcome to Austin. Yeah, man. Thanks for the Panettone. Who is this Panettone by?
Ogie, the Yogi. She's a baker. Here in Austin. She does this kind of on the side. I got some of her best cheesecake for Thanksgiving, and she did a little bit of panettone on the side as a gift.
Yeah.
And it's fucking incredible.
It is really dope. As soon as you opened it, I was like, look at the crumb on that fucker. I could tell like she's doing a good job.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
People in Austin should definitely check her out, Ogie the Yogi.
Yeah.
Her panettone is incredible. The cheesecake is like, I was just in San Sebastian not that long ago.
Yeah.
About a month. And it was honestly like, it was as good and better than most cheesecakes we had over there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, got you. Okay.
It was like slightly underbaked in the middle.
Yeah.
And not super sweet, not super eggy, like just the fucking right amount of right.
I like that. It's the right amount of right. I like that, but also medium rare pastries. This is where I'm at. The chocolate chip cookie.
Oof.
Underbake that bitch.
That
a
little
bit.
soft situation.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I've had hard cookies that are, all the way baked cookies that are still soft, and that is like, the person's got something else when they do that. But when they're underbaked, man, you can underbake any cookie dough, and it's just like that much more.
That medium rare. Medium rare should be a thing.
Medium rare cookies, dog. Maybe that's a new thing, you know what I mean? Fire it on the hearth.
Yeah.
Who knows?
How would you like your cookie
Right.
cooked?
I like it rare. Okay,
You're
yeah.
like, we're right here, like this. Yeah. We're gonna do the thing on the thumb.
I'll scoop the dough. Boom, table side. But Chef, you're at Suerte now. Here on Sucio.Talk, we take it all the way back. Where were you born?
I was born in the little town of Torreon in the state of Coahuila, northern Mexico. Moved around a lot. Growing up, I lived in Mexico. Then we went to El Paso. That was the first time I lived in the States.
Okay.
Then after that, I went back to Mexico because my mom was scared that I was going to get somebody pregnant.
Wrapped up into the life.
Into the life. Because
Chef Jake Rojas let me know a little bit about that El Paso life.
Yeah, that's crazy. And my mama, finally told me this story 5 years ago. She said that for one Halloween, one of the neighbors that I used to hang out with, that I had a crush on, she showed up. I hope she's not listening.
Yeah.
She showed up to my house dressed as Catwoman to pick me up for go trick-or-treating.
Oh,
and my mom opened the door, and she said that's when she realized we needed to go back to Mexico.
Yeah. Oh, man. You were getting ready for that early... You're all good. You're getting ready for that early fatherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, you think about when your parents had kids, my mom was 20. I could not even fathom having a kid at 20 years old.
That's insane. I mean? Mine were a little bit older. Yeah. When they had me, they were in their 40s, 41,
dope.
42.
Yeah, so they had
time. But my sister is 9 years older than me.
Okay.
I can't imagine even having a kid in your 30s.
Yeah.
I'm barely starting to figure life out and trying to figure life for someone else that doesn't even pay rent.
Do you think that has something to say about the past? You needed to grow up faster? You think that growing up now is... because I hear a lot of parents say, oh, let them be young, let them be kids. Mm-hmm. And when I grew up, it was 16, get a fucking job, let's go, I don't know, man. I think life is different now. Technology has changed things. I think there's a lot more things for people to think about in the part of having a family. Now, at least I think, and my friends, we think about money. Raising a kid is not cheap. Yeah. And I think that goes too with just opportunities and seeing what's out there. Also, people are realizing I want to live my life before I have to commit to. I mean, this sounds selfish, but sharing that with someone else that I'm going to have 100%. To put in first. So I think that's just how things are now, and you don't have to be 20 to have a kid. I think you can still do it in your 30s. 100%.
It's very doable.
Yeah.
And people too realize if you don't want to have kids, you're not an evil person.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah, because that was the consensus for a long time. And there's adoption that you can do now, which really helps out. I think there's families that are really dedicated to that now, which
I respect that a lot.
Yeah, and you see that more often than not, especially, back in the day when I was growing up. So you moved from El Paso back to Mexico?
I moved from El Paso back to Mexico. Then I finished high school. Okay. And then after that, I knew I needed to go to college. Yeah. But I didn't want to do like, the classic chef story. I didn't want to do like an office job. I didn't want to be an architect, a lawyer. I was never good at school.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to figure out the college life. So
Gotcha.
a lot of my friends were applying to go to San Antonio, UTSA, and it was close enough to Torreon, like a 10-hour drive. So I said, I'll give that a try. And I did. That was like the only college I applied. They accepted me. I went there for 1 year. And it was the most expensive party I've ever been to.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I didn't care about the school. I was on probation, I think, both semesters that I was there. 2.0 GPA.
Yeah.
And then along that, I ended up reading Kitchen Confidential by Anthony Bourdain. And it was one of those situations where I ended up at a Barnes & Noble's, because that's where you used to go get books before Amazon.
Yeah.
You know? An actual store.
Fuck yeah.
And I was walking across the hallway, and it...
Let's introduce him to the podcast. Who is he?
That's Bilbo. He's my 13-year-old French bulldog.
Yeah.
He is eating, and he likes to do noises every time he eats.
Gotcha. And he was...
I can put him in the other room.
It's all good. He was a male prostitute for his whole life.
Yes, he was. He was used for breeding until he was about like 9 or 10 years old, and he was dropped at a shelter in San Antonio, only to be reunited with me.
Yeah.
A year after that. So, yeah.
He's so
welcome to
he got it all out of his system.
Welcome to the Sucio.Podcast.
He's chilling, bro. I love it. Oh, he's so cute. That's awesome. We got to get a picture with him.
Yeah.
All right, where the hell were we? Barnes and Nobles.
Barnes and Nobles. Walk by, see Kitchen Confidential. I recognize the dude in the cover. I say, "Oh, that's the chef guy in the TV."
Yeah.
I picked up the book, and I liked a lot of what he talked about, like that pirate life of chefing and stuff. And I read a chapter, put it back down. And then on my way to college, I had to drive by that Barnes & Noble every now and then. So what I would do, sometimes I would just stop at the Barnes & Nobles, read a chapter, and then go to school.
Gotcha.
And then it turned into, I started skipping school to
read the book.
And then halfway through it, I'm like, why don't I just fucking buy this book?
Yeah.
And it was like, the best $18 I spent in that year. At that point, I said, you know what? If I'm going to try to pursue this, I'm going to get a kitchen job.
Yeah.
And the kitchen job was... because of my legal status at the time, I had to only work in the university. I could only work in the university.
Gotcha.
So I worked in the dorm cafeteria of UTSA.
Oh, dope.
That was my first official job.
How was that?
It was actually a lot of fun because I went into the mentality of like, I want to see if this kitchen lifestyle of what Bourdain talks about is true. Mm-hmm. And in a way it was, because there was a lot of young people that were making sandwiches for other young people. You know? So I used to use that as a way of like meeting people, inviting them to parties, because that was like before iPhones, before Tinder, before all the swiping right and left.
Exactly.
So, I was a sandwich artist back then.
Yeah.
And when a pretty American lady would come by, and I would suggest, can I get you something extra? I'll make you a triple decker kind of situation. And then I would ask for a phone number or invite them for parties and stuff like. So it was a very pirate like life. There was also like 3 older dudes that have been there for years, and he was like the one that was in charge of all the cheeseburgers. Like that was his thing, and like that environment in the kitchen I enjoyed because there was a lot of just unique people that were there for fun. And then I decided to take a tour of a culinary school in Houston.
Okay.
I thought about the CIA. It was really expensive, especially for an international student. Yeah, it was not cheap. And then living in New York like that is not easy when you lived your life growing up in pesos and then have to pay that in dollars. It's a lot of pesos. So I went to Houston, took a tour, fell in love with it, decided to just cut my losses at UTSA. I went to culinary school and fell in love for a lot of the reasons that were not necessarily in the book. I fell in love with how to make the best stock, how to cook rice, how to make all the mother sauces. And then that led me just to get really intense about the process of becoming a true chef. And at that point, like French cooking was like the standard, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It was always a standard, but at the time it was big. And then Italian started happening. Spanish was also like a thing. Everybody wanted to do tapas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then after that, a little bit of that molecular gastronomy started happening.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was chasing the trends that I thought like were going to give me the tools to be the best chef.
Gotcha.
Worked in some nice kitchens. I worked in the Houston Country Club.
Okay.
For a minute. At that time, yeah, there was a certified master chef there. He was like the only one in Texas. One out of like
baby.
Yeah, one of like out of 50 in the whole country, and he was the guy. So I just went up to him at a social, and I said, "Hey, I don't have any experience because I didn't count like my sandwich making skills.
100%, yeah,
as the true experience. Can I work for you for free until I earn my pay?" And he's like, "Cool, show up at my office tomorrow." And I showed up at his office tomorrow. They wouldn't let me in because it was a Houston Country Club. They're like, "Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck is this guy?" Yeah,
I like showed up.
I know the feeling.
And you know, you needed like certain thing to like pass. And he was like, "No, you're not on the list." And I didn't have a phone, so I had to go back home, send him an email saying like, "Hey, I showed up, but your door guy wouldn't let me in. Don't think that I'm not about this. Like, let me know when I can come back." And then he replies like 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is like before phones, you can just refresh.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like in my computer, fucking clicking, refresh.
Yeah.
Are you gonna fucking answer?
Yeah.
15 minutes later, he's like, "Come back now."
Yeah.
So I drive back
Yeah.
to the country club, and the guy's like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Check, my name is in there." And he checks, and yeah, my name is in there now. And then I go in, and then I started working there like the next day or 2 days later.
Got you. Okay.
I worked there for a minute. I worked there for like 8 months before he realized he wasn't paying me. Because of the around 8 months, I like was working Suerte, doing a little bit of banquets on my own now. And I just went up to his office and was like, "Hey, you know, so like when I told you I wanted to be here, like I would want to get paid until I deserve my pay, and I think I'm doing like a good job.
Yeah, you think you deserve your pay?
I'm on the schedule. Like I'm running your Suerte
I'm working
line.
16 hours a week.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh shit." He forgot that he wasn't paying me.
Damn, bro.
So he made it up. And,
good on you for waiting so long. But then you got a lump sum of money.
Well, I mean, at the time, like
$2,000.
I think he paid me like $12 an hour.
Yeah.
Which was like double digits
That's
back then. Double digits back then where
you
you were making it. You were living your best life.
That's something you can call your mom and be like, "Yo, I make this money." Like, "Whoa, shit,
12?
yeah,
let's go, mijo." No,
Yeah.
but so that's how he kind of made it up, and I think he paid me for like an extra week on my first paycheck. So he did it right, but also like back then the culture was just put your head down, and if you want to learn something, like there was on YouTube. You know, if I want to learn how to butcher a salmon, guess what I had to do? I had to fucking show up earlier.
Yeah.
Beg the butcher, who was like this Russian, like very typical butcher Russian, like very thick accent.
Yeah.
And he was very mean. And I had to show up at like 5 a.m. and be in the cold room with him, like just watching him, not even being able to cut the salmon.
Anything,
now, you know, you type how to butcher salmon. There's like all these kinds of videos that will give you the confidence to, when you're with your first salmon, like you have an idea.
Yeah.
You know, and back then it was different. Like you just had to like put in the hours.
You fucked up portions.
Yeah.
Is what happened.
Yeah. And you got yelled at.
Yeah. 100%.
And that was like, you know, you didn't get paid for that.
No.
Yeah.
Dope.
So
what are your parents thinking when you leave college? The first college?
My
like,
dad
what the fuck?
and my mom were like, "You sure you want to do this? Because we thought you wanted to do film, but cooking, like you never cooked at home." Like growing up, like I was a very picky eater too as a kid.
Yeah.
We would like there was one Chinese restaurant where we lived because it was a small town, and we would have to stop at McDonald's, get a Happy Meal, so I could eat at the restaurant with the rest of the family. If not, I would throw a fit.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I was very, very picky. Like when I was a kid and they would make picadillo at my house.
Yeah.
They would have to make just ground beef and potatoes before they added any of the peppers and onions, just for me to set it aside because I was a baby.
Well, good parents for doing that, man. My mom would have been like, "Go fuck yourself. Don't eat anything." You know what I mean?
I was that annoying.
Yeah.
I was that annoying when I didn't get my way.
You're persistent. You know,
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, dude, it's probably easier to just give him what he fucking wants."
Yeah.
You're
It's
holding
like-
him ransom.
It's like the problem, you know. Now you see kids with like iPads,
Yeah.
just stuck to them, and the parents are like, it's easier to just give it to them. Than
Yeah.
to, like,
do you think it's the
throw a fit.
equivalent of having an iPad? What you were going through back in the day?
I think so.
Buying McDonald's before the meal.
Before the Chinese meal,
That was the iPad of 2000 or what? 1990 what?
That was probably like late 90s.
Late 90s. I got you.
Yeah.
So you're in culinary school now. You're learning how to butcher from this man. And how long did you stay this place?
I stayed there for like till I was finished with culinary school. So